Joining me now with more, Leslie Marshall, who's a progressive radio talk show host and a Fox News contributor, and Mark Thiessen, who is a Fox News contributor as well, also a former presidential speechwriter for George W. Bush. Welcome to you both. Leslie, so she's expected to announce on Sunday. This is it. All the people who thought she wasn't going to run, and there were some, are wrong, and apparently she is. That's how it looks right now. What do you make of it? Will she get a bump in the polls just from coming out and making the announcement?
Yes, I think she will. I mean, we've seen that from those in the GOP that have announced, and I think we'll see that from more in the GOP and possibly the Democratic side that have announced, and historically we see that. So I expect a bump to her favorability, popularity, and perhaps even trustworthiness next week. Yeah, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, which is taking a hit, her trustworthiness, as we discussed the other night. So, Mark, is this the beginning of, a new chapter for Hillary Clinton where the problems we've discussed over the past months will start to fade away?
You mean, is she going to get a reset? It didn't work with Russia, and I don't think it's going to work with her campaign. I mean, look, I think Democrats ought to be worried. Hillary Clinton seems to have all the penchant for scandal that her husband had, but without the charm or political talent that he had to survive it. And I think people were comforting themselves about the email and the Clinton Foundation by saying, look, she's not bleeding. She has a double-digit lead over all her Republican rivals. She's doing fine. That's not true anymore. Public policy polling shows that she is +3 over Marco Rubio, who's announcing next week, which is basically statistically tied. And then the Quinnipiac poll, which shows in the battleground states that, look, she's Walker, Paul, and Rubio lead her in Colorado. Paul leads her in Iowa and Pennsylvania. Bush leads her in Florida. And Quinnipiac says it's not just one or two candidates. Every Republican is running tighter against her. So this race is tightening very, very much.
Well, can you speak to that, Leslie? I mean, Mark mentions the charm factor. I thought it was interesting the other day. Greg Gutfeld called her utterly charmless. And we played that soundbite going out to break. Just watch this. Watch.
Along life's way, you get a chance to make millions of decisions. Some of them are big, like, do you run for office?
I mean, is that, like, she's no Bill Clinton?
Oh, no, she's not. And to be fair, he's not running. She is. And I don't want to be identified by my husband, and I'm sure she doesn't. But I have to say, I do agree. I've met her in person, and I'm sure a number of people watching have as well. She comes off very different in person. There's a warmth about her that we don't see with the media, which she seems to be uncomfortable with and not happy with. And that's got to change. I think we need to see a Hillary Clinton, too. I think she needs to find that fine line between Margaret Thatcher and the warmer, kinder Hillary, because she going one way or the other is going to lose some support from those that are still questioning whether or not they will give their support and vote for her.
That is interesting. I mean, I actually think this is one of the many reasons she should sit down with yours truly for an interview, because I think one-on-one, it'll be a very different dynamic between the two of us, and viewers will see a different side of her. But Mark, Rand Paul has taken such a beating for, how he dealt with the press this week. He went into forums that might not be typically friendly to a Republican. He sat with them. He took the questions. What will happen to Hillary Clinton? How is she going to do when she sits down?
Well, according to Barack Obama, she's plenty likable. So I guess if she presents that side of her,
he called
likable enough. That's right. So she's likable enough. If she one-on-one, it doesn't come across on the screen. It's a challenge for her. I mean, you're right. Rand Paul. I mean, he went and spoke at Berkeley, UC Berkeley. He's gone into the other side to debate. I don't know how Hillary Clinton would do in that scenario. But I mean, I think Ed made the point that they're worried about the fact that she's rusty. The book launch was an absolute disaster. Her press conference on the email gate was an absolute disaster. So maybe third time's a charm. I don't know, but she has a very high bar to meet right now with her campaign launch, whether she can do it better than she has in the past.
Leslie, what do you think of the Bush-Clinton matchup possibility, and whether that, the risk of seeming like yesterday's news for her?
Well, quite frankly, she does have experience, which some of the GOP contenders, are newbies, newbies out of Washington. She is viewed as a Washington insider. A lot of people may think she is old, but there is a newness in her gender, quite frankly.
I'm not talking about
and
age.
that will appeal to some females that are Republican.
I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about, Charles Krauthammer and, the question about whether even Jeb Bush, but a Bush-Clinton matchup feels like, oh, we did that. I mean, that's what people say sometimes.
But some of the people, I think, some Republicans will be like, we want to change what happened back in '92, and we'd like to see a Bush win. They both have the name recognition, which is huge when people vote. They both can have a lot of money and can raise a lot of money, which is also essential with the amount of money being spent in campaigns, and they both have experience. As for her being rusty, she's had a lot of time, and she has done this before, and the Clintons certainly know how to win, how to lose, and how to come back and win again, as we have seen with the former president.
Great to see you both. Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Thank you, Megan.
Just ahead.